water because I do remove water that's you can just see.
So
them
that's
here.
an outlet.
This is just an inlet.
Yeah. So guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Brian Vlogs, and so guys, today I'm privileged to be one of the amazing person here in Iam Marwa's villa, because he has been helping him with construction of the fish ponds. And right now I'm just with him. I'm just gonna give him a chance to give himself a shout out, and then we proceed about maybe fishing. Yeah. So my friend.
Hello guys, how are you? It's _Gintu. I am a fish farmer and engineer in terms of when it comes to construction of a fish pond. So I was just the engineer behind the construction of this modern fish pond by the name the Flying Beam Fish Pond, where we are now.
The Flying Beam Fish Pond.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's Gintu.
Yeah.
How many fish that you have fish? How do you call
just stocked?
Yeah, stocked inside here.
Okay.
The flying fish.
The flying beam fish pond here. So first we can just talk about we have 3 segmented fish ponds here. We have the first one at the far end there, that's just running from this end up to the far away of the villa. This is the second one, which we are just here, and we have the third one at the far end there. So the first fish pond we have just stocked. We can just come.
So guys, let's see the first fish pond that they have stocked, and we'll be learning more about fishing.
So this fish pond, it's not yet full of water because I do remove water that's we can just talk about the water was just stagnant here for like 4 days.
Yeah.
So I release it outside via the use of we have an outlet of this first fish pond. We have the inlet of this fish pond at this end. You can just see.
So that's an outlet.
This is just an inlet onto this fish pond.
Yeah.
All of these ones are inlets
onto
this, but onto this they're just outlets and drainages.
Okay.
So we have just stocked here like 300 by now. And they're just called the breeding fish. So these are just the tilapia fish we have just stocked here, and they are just 2 brands of tilapia, which is just the red tilapia and the bright black tilapia. So there are 300 pieces of the brood fish here. We never stocked here. We can talk about the fingerlings or fly. They're just brood fish. You know, we have that criteria and stages. So the first one is the fry, followed by the fingerlings, followed by the brood fish. Then we have the big fish. So we stocked here the brood fish, which are just 3 months old. So they're just coping up with the environment. So we have just stocked them. So the only thing is just changing water and letting the fresh water in via. We have a spring.
So this is fresh water coming from this side.
Yeah, we have a spring here. You can just see from that far end. The water is just accumulating at this small pond here, so it can now be directed onto this big pond. So as it can now accumulate high, so as it now have the shape.
Wow.
So it will now, if we open here, it will now come to the second fish pond here. So this we have not yet stocked here because it's under construction yet. So we need to start from now number 3 down there. So as we can now tile the whole pond from down to up. So as we have that, you know, the deco and something pleasant to the people who can just be viewing.
So maybe for someone watching this video and is interested in fish farming, what advice maybe can you give him? Or maybe there's someone continuing with fish farming and maybe thinks that maybe it's a challenge. What can maybe advise? What food? The food that you give your fish.
Okay, in terms of advice,
food, and also someone wants maybe to quit fishing because maybe he thinks that maybe it's kind of hard.
Okay, I'll give you an advice when we shall go for the earthen fish ponds, which most of the people can construct. But this one is so expensive. It's more than over a cage and more than over. So you cannot rely on this. Maybe you can quit because it's so expensive. I cannot talk about this one. But I have a project of fish farming of the earthen fish ponds that, you know, they're just dug from underground. So that one I'll just give you a platform tomorrow on what's just the advice I can just give to people. But in terms of feeds that we feed them here, we feed them now. They are just in we call it the growers mash. But you know, when they just fry or the fingerlings, we always throw feeds that are called the starter mashes. Then after some period of 3 months or 2.5 months, you introduce the grower mash. Then you introduce the pellets after the period of 4 to 5 months. So by this time round here, they are just brood fish of 3 months old. We just use the feeds that are called the grower mashes, which are just, you know, when you just going to feed the fish, before you can just introduce the feed, you are just advised to sample even 1 or 2. So you remove via the use of hook, or we have a net that's just relevant in terms of just picking one from this end. So as we can now sample it, you know, the feeds, the particle of the feeds we feed them, they should be the size of an eye of that fish that's just stocked.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why we are just advised, or I can just advise you, you do the sampling before you introduce other feeds necessary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I've just realized that you are giving them the feeds that you are giving them, the same feeds as we give chicken.
Sometimes because because to get the feeds of this fish stock here, I cannot bring mine over my fish farming because this is another project. But I do order the fish, the feeds from the company relevant for just the companies that produces them.
The fish,
so I have just ordered for this fish pond here. It's not yet here. Before they can just get suffocation or be hungry here, we use the chicken feeds, which are just the poultry feeds, because they go hand in hand. It's the same criteria, or the stages of poultry farming is the same as the fish farming, because we have the small chicks, we have the brood hens or the chicken, and we have the full-grown chicken. So it's the same as these ones here. We have the fingerlings, we have the brood fish, and we have the big fish.
Wow, it's amazing learning about fish farming.
Yeah.
And it's my first time, because in my village, some villages do practice fish farming, but not that maybe in broad ways or anything, large scale. So they do practice, but not in large scale.
Okay, I can just tell you what you are just meaning. You know, when you talk about the small scales, it means that they're just rearing fish for maybe home consumption, or about what we call the community purposes. So in that time, what he means is that they use the local feeds mostly. So because the concentrate feeds are you are just advised to use the concentrate feeds when you have a market demand where you are just rearing fish to sell. But it now differs which kind of fish you stocked. Maybe it's a tilapia fish, yes, but which kind of the sex you just installed. But if you are just dealing with the market demand, you are just advised to use the monosex of male tilapia, whereby the male tilapia grows so fast than the female. But now getting that specific species of the male monosex tilapia is they are just costly in terms of purchasing, but it's not like the female ones. It's just somehow less costly.
Wow.
So to get the male monosex, so you have to go to the pocket so well.
Yeah, for sure. It will be more expensive.
And you know, they grow so fast. So in terms of the ones we are just talking about, people are not practicing so much at your area. It's because they are just breeding now and then. So they go and pick one day, they leave another one growing, or the fingerlings growing. But onto my shamba, tomorrow maybe, probably, I will just introduce you onto my project where now I rear fish for market demand only. So I'll give you more details in terms of marketing, in terms of feeding, which kind of feeds are we just using, are they manual or man-made feeds or the concentrate feeds, which kind of the tilapia are we just rearing there, the red or the bright black tilapia. You know, there are samples like that. So, but here, this stock we have just installed here, the brood fish are just female. So the female ones here, they are just going to breed. That's why we just use the cement bags alongside this flying beam.
So they'll be breeding on.
So those they have to impact the way they're just there. The first impact or positive impact is they are just going to restrain that soil from moving from that area to access the pond. The second thing is that they're just going to provide a surface area for breeding for those tilapia fish. And as far as everything is put in consideration, you know, we have to control the breeding system that's just going on here. We just stocked here some catfish so as they can now control the breeding cycle and to this fish pond.
Wow, guys, I'm learning something new. And if you want maybe to have more information about fish farming, kindly check him out at its underscore Gintu.
Yeah.
Or maybe you can just give them your number. If someone maybe from my village is interested in your services, they can call you directly.
Okay, I can just start by saying it's underscore Gintu, my channel name. So guys, you can just chip onto my channel and you can just learn more about the fish farming protocols and every essential relative to the fish farming in terms of land. You can just call it the construction site of the fish pond, the reallocation of fish. We have the stocking of fish. We have types of the species of fish we can just rear. We have the feeding protocols. We have the types of feeds. We have the maintenance and the care of the fish ponds. We have so many criteria in terms of fish farming. You can just get onto my contact, whereby you can just go direct to my, or you can just WhatsApp me in this number, +2547 0049 0047.
Wow. It's Gintu. Yeah. I think you have more information about fish farming. Did you go to college and study about aquaculture, fishing? Because I see that you know everything about fishing. Almost everything about fishing. I think even someone that maybe is interested in fishing can give you the full project and leave you to work on it. Okay, and maybe come there after a few months when you have just done everything, because you are so perfect. I've seen the way you have even explained. It's just a take, 100% sure. Yeah,
guys,
sure.
I never went to school in terms of fish farming. So when I just I started my own project, and to the project I was just talking about, maybe my brother will just chip in tomorrow and we'll just see the project how it's just ongoing, because I have 3 fish ponds at my area, which are just 25 meters by 15 meters length, and with it, so I stock there more than 2,000 fish per every 6 months. So I harvest after every 6 months. So I have more experience of 5 years in terms of now experiencing the harvesting, and I have stocked for 5 years, or I have been in this fish farming for 5 years. So I have more experience in terms of observing and seeing what relative things they need more, because I've been into this business for 5 years. Yeah.
So, and the fish farming is so profitable that maybe for you not leaving fish farming, then it must be so profitable to you.
I have so many professionals, bro. But I'm interested so far in fish farming because that's what I needed from I was just somehow young. And that's why I hustled so hard, so as I can just purchase a land where now it was somehow swampy, so as I can just construct even 1 fish pond. Oh. So I got lucky. I got a land that it could just go up to 3 fish ponds, or even 4 if I can just like.
I think you should come and invest in my place, Kisi. Come in Kisi and invest.
Oh,
fish farming.
Maybe sometimes in terms of fish farming, when you just get the land, maybe you know you have to look for maybe there are some impacts, maybe negative impacts about that in terms of theft, in terms of intruders, in terms of predator, which are just we can talk about. Sometimes dogs do, even birds do. So sometimes before you can just invest in fish farming, you have to look for those key negatives, so as you can just meet yourself and say, am I safe at this place before you invest?
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for watching our vlog. I've been with your guy here. It's Gintu. It's underscore Gintu. Yeah. And he has just shown us more about fish farming, and we have just learned some few basics, because I was interested in this part of fish farming because it's very profitable, and I do love fish. when it's being fried and stuff. I do love it.
But
So,
but me mostly, it's not only for selling in terms of maybe for consumption rate, but I reallocate. I can reallocate brood fish, not fingerlings. Brood fish, the big fish, like the ones I've just reallocated into this fish pond. They are not fingerlings. These are 3 months old brood fish. So I reallocated them from my fish ponds to Iam Marwa's fish ponds here.
Wow. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video up to this point. Kindly go check out its_Gintu, and if maybe you have a fish project from maybe my area in Kisii or anywhere in Kenya or outside, kindly contact him and also give him maybe a job or that jig that can also maybe push him to do what he does perfect.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
But the professionals I've not talked about, I do chief chefing. I'm a good chef. I'm a good waiter. You know, I did catering and accommodation course, so it deals with chief chef, service, which is over waiters, and accommodation.
So you can keep fish, and then the same time you can cook them.
Cook them, and I serve
the
you.
Best.
And when you are just full of eating fish, I can accommodate you to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. From here at Iam Marwa's Villa, we are signing out. Bye bye.